Hey everyone, I'm back with another devlog. It's been a long time, but I haven't been doing nothing. I've been working on a lot of the fishing systems in the game. I'm here because I can't remember if I mentioned that there will be growing plants and crops in the game. There's an NPC where you, I guess, get your seeds and learn how to grow stuff. But maybe more on that in another video. I also don't know what is wrong with the hair. These are metahumans, so there must be something with the hair and lighting. But anyway, I've been adding a lot to the fishing system and also updated the asset on Fab that has these systems, but I'm actually think I'm going to stop adding to that asset now because it's getting a bit complex and most people just want a basic fishing system for their game, so I think I'm overcomplicating it and actually making it worse for people to use, even though I mean you can disable all the settings, but yeah, most people just want to drag and drop and go. So what have I been doing? I've added a couple new mini games specifically around the bait of the fishing. So if we, for instance, take our normal worm bait and we cast this out, whoops, added that casting as well. So now it casts a projectile instead of just like hit scan. And we'll talk about the water just now. So this is the normal, the old fishing, regular bait stuff. Go straight into the mini game and catch a fish. Fine. Then if we take this bait out and we add this specific bait, we're going to play a little mini game that you play a little rhythm mini game, hit the notes. Let's get through this and I'll explain a bit more. In this case, chance to catch double fish. So don't know if that's going to happen this time. I didn't get a perfect score there. Yeah, so I just caught the normal one. But you have a chance to catch an extra fish. So it's kind of incentive for somebody to do well at the mini game, and then you get more value out of your bait. Then for the next one, we're actually going to unload that and let's put in this specific bait. So also added this raft. This is the realistic drivable raft from the Fab marketplace. Got that. I think it's pretty cool. It does the rafting. I didn't feel like coding all the buoyancy and stuff, and I think the water effects are quite cool. So integrated that into the project. It works pretty nicely. I think it was worth it. Anyway, so I'm going to take this raft out because I think having a raft in a game like this is actually quite useful. You don't always just want to fish from the shore. Even though I added the projectile casting, I think to get to specific spots will be cool. So I really think this is a nice addition to the game. Getting back to the mini game, so you can configure that first one to have some effect at the end. I'm just making it to catch double fish, and depending on how well you did in the mini game. Another thing I added was these, so I call them fishing zone overrides. So we're going to pull up to one here. They basically is an area. It's an area where you can catch a specific fish, or among a couple of fish. I want to maybe add an icon here so you can see it from a bit further away. But it's got this little effect in showing you that it's a good fishing spot. And these hopefully you'll reach with the raft. So I'm going to get off here. So, but this specific one is for what I'm calling a boss fish. So at the end of every island you're going to be tasked with catching this specific fish. And I want it to be, you know, quite a big battle. It takes some time, you need to prepare properly, and then you go out and catch this fish. So in this case, the bait that I added here has another mini game that you're going to play. It's going to be avoiding obstacles and get to the end. So I've shortened everything just to kind of get through this, but I think boss battles can probably go on pretty long. So we cast it out there into this area. Now I've got this little lure, and if you hit the top bottom, it decreases the durability, and if you hit those obstacles, it also decreases durability. If you hit one of those fish, it automatically hooks that fish, so you don't really want that because you want to get to the end to guarantee yourself a specific fish. In this case, this big fish. If you hit the treasure chest that you see, that also stops it and you pull out an item, but I might change that to something else later. Okay, just want to talk about this quickly. So this is all quick time actions. Then you go into second phase once you've won here. Now second phase is a different type of game to try and catch this fish. And you'll see it also follows a different path and has a different spline, and you know how quickly you catch it and all that stuff is all per phase. So you got this like multi-phase battle with the fish that you got to get through all of it. Now finish the second phase, and then third phase is going to be the classic reel release. So hold right click when it goes like that, and hold left click when it stops doing that. Okay. So, I mean, obviously in the full game this is going to be a lot more complicated and take a lot longer. But I just wanted to show it off quickly. So yeah, I've got this massive fish now. Pop that in my inventory. There we go. There's your first epic fish. Yeah, what I wanted to say about the minigame is the treasure chests, I might make it so that you kind of collect them as you go along as bonuses, and then maybe at the end when you catch your fish, maybe you get an extra bonus item or something like that, so that it doesn't stop immediately when you hit a treasure chest, and more make it rewards as you go along the way. But that is mostly the new additions I've added here. Like I said, all these, the minigames is on the Fab asset. So that's there, and it's very customizable. You can change a lot around it. But like I said, I think it's getting a little complex, and it's great for my game, but I don't think everybody needs that complexity in their fishing systems. So I'm going to kind of stop adding to it and maybe just bug fixes and whatnot. This override zone, I believe, is also in the Fab asset. I think it's quite useful. I want these to kind of spawn dynamically and then have a little icon above it so you can see it from far away. Right now it's not really visible from far away. So that you can kind of go and hunt these things down. Maybe get a notification in the game saying there's a school of whatever fish in this area, and then you can go find these specific fish, and you know, probably have the size of the fish bigger in that zone or whatever. Yeah, and the raft is I think pretty cool. Might speed it up a little bit, or you know, now that I've got the kind of code behind it, change this and you can build better rafts, get you there faster, etc. So I think a really cool system coming in here, and I think that's it for now. I'll cover maybe the farming at some point, but that's pretty much the one from Defuse. It's just the normal farming system, but I can go over that because you're going to be, you know, collecting all these resources to create these specific baits to find these fish and go on to the boss fights. I'm hoping to make these boss fights quite elaborate and complex, and you know, not 5-minute fun. Make it something pretty long and intense, and that you need to prepare properly for it. But I think that's mostly it for now, and I'll be back. Cool. Thanks for watching.